How do you perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Right.
And that's what she was supposed to be doing and in charge of.
Because she hasn't done anything. I think she's an idiot.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about this MSNBC focus group. Yes, sorry, I know MSDNC, so they can be quite insufferable on there, but no Joy Reid today, okay? So we got just a focus group. These are everyday people that are maybe somewhat normal and not these radicalized, tyrannical leftist propagandists, and they're sounding off against Kamala Harris. One person says they don't think she knows what the heck is going on. It's pretty freaking embarrassing, and it appears as though the momentum that the Democrats are pretending that they have with Kamala Harris just isn't there. Now, I will say that maybe with some of the black female population, then they might have some momentum, but arguably it was going to be the same if Joe Biden was running versus Kamala running. The only thing I'll say is that they might be a little bit more excited, but odds are they were going to come out and vote for Sleepy Cadaver Joe, even if he was in a freaking coffin. But anyway, guys, I'm going to show you what these other folks have to say about cackling Kamala.
How do you perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Right.
And that's what she was supposed to be doing and in charge of. I mean, as a school teacher, if I did not do what I was supposed to be doing, you better believe my job would be in jeopardy. Well, it isn't. Not only was her job not in jeopardy, she was just handed a promotion.
Basically.
Is there anyone...
Welcome to federal government, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe on some of these local levels, it's a little bit different, but on the federal level, this is how they operate.
That Kamala Harris could appoint as her vice president that you would find reassuring, would make you consider voting for her?
No, never consider voting for her.
When you talk about the left, this is kind of hilarious, but when you talk about the left, they're all in lockstep right now. The only thing that they were not in lockstep about is whether or not Joe Biden should resign, because they're not sure. It's basically like, this is like a huge Hail Mary, okay? Is Tom Brady when he was down versus the Atlanta Falcons, except the Democrats are nowhere as good as Tom Brady. But they're trying to do like a huge Hail Mary to throwing the ball all the way across the field like a solid 90 yards and hoping that somebody manages to catch it on the last play of the game. That's all that they're doing here. And Kamala Harris is an interesting gamble. I do think that it definitely would have made more sense to try to do an open primary, and it certainly would have been actually way more democratic. However, they're trying to put her in there because they don't want to, one, really tick off the black community, and two, they want to specifically try to get majority of blacks, mainly black men. Like, I don't think with women is going to make that much of a difference really at all, but certainly with women in general, I think that that's kind of one of the things they're trying to go for, as well as trying to get more black men on board, which I'm really not sure if it's going to make a difference, but I don't think so, because the policies are just bad, guys. They're just bad policies. And regardless of Kamala, Biden, or anybody who's the VP, they all support open borders. They all support woke LGBTQ propaganda, men in women's sports, men in women's bathrooms because they think they're a girl today. Tomorrow they might think they're a dude. Drag queen story time. These are weird things, guys. These are not good things. Price is high. The inflation rate is out of control. Not to mention gas, energy, the prices of everything is up. Rent, interest rates. Like, you can't even buy a damn house. It's like, guys, give me a break. The policies are what the problems are. The problem is Joe Biden was just funny to make fun of because he was an old, decrepit loser. But that wasn't the main reason for my problems with him. It's because his policies were ass.
No. I would do RFK Jr. way before her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's not the first woman to run for the presidency, Hillary Clinton. I'm assuming no one voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So it's not necessarily going to sway you to vote for a woman in office. When do you think America will have a female president?
When there's a competent one.
Just, I don't get a good feel for her.
Good answer. Because here's the thing, guys. In general, do I think that men are better leaders than majority of women? Yes. Okay. So if anybody doesn't agree, you can disagree. But I do think that especially at the top positions, this isn't like a feel good position. Like we just want to do diversity, equity, and inclusion across the board. No, guys, you have to, if it's a woman who I truly feel is the best, then I think that she deserves the vote. Right now, I think that Donald Trump truly is the best. Kamala Harris ain't nowhere near the best. She's not even the best amongst the radical leftists. She couldn't even get 0%. She didn't even make it to the Iowa caucus. Okay, like at the time it was like Joe Biden and Buttigieg and Warren and Sanders, Bernie Sanders. She didn't even make it to the last round of debates. And yet she just mysteriously just jumps to the top. Even if Kamala were to somehow manage to win, imagine the blowback from not having even a primary to even get her to where she's at. No voters voted her into the position that she is effectively about to get at this DNC convention next month. So even if she manages to win the presidency, you can say, okay, if she manages to miraculously do that, she never got through the primary process. So they're going to look at it like she was DEI to begin with, guys. That's probably the reason why, because Joe Biden said he was going to pick a woman VP. That's probably the reason Joe Biden picked her. Matter of fact, that is the reason he picked her as the VP. Not because she was the best for the job, but because she was a woman. He said himself he was going to pick a woman. I'm not saying it. Joe Biden said it. Then you skip the whole primary process and you put her in the front of the line. So she's not even fighting the fight that literally every other presidential candidate has to fight. How can you not see her as a DEI person just because she's got some experience? Hello, everybody's got some experience, even if it's not a bunch of government experience. Everybody has some level of experience before they become the president that makes them qualified to lead. That's the key factor, not just being a long-term government employee. That's how you end up with old farts like Joe Biden, 54 years in the government. That's too long. I don't want some old fart like him. I want somebody who is just a great leader. Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, great leaders, not just great politicians long-term in the government, great leaders. Let's keep going.
I think she's an idiot.
Right.
Mary, why do you think that she's not that right?
Because she hasn't done anything in the time that she's had. We don't know anything about her as far as her 3 years so far in the White House. She's not real smart. That's my opinion. It could be wrong.
If Vice President Kamala Harris wins the election, do you think that will be an honest result?
No. No one respects her.
Facts. It's like, guys, Kamala Harris she did not make it through the primary. The voters didn't pick her. They didn't come out stomping for her like that. And they just threw her to the front of the line because they were desperate because their candidate was so terrible. In the audacity to try to get cocky now just because you got a candidate who can stand upright and actually speak clearly is astounding. It is quite hilarious, actually. And people are talking about it's like the second coming of Obama. Look, guys, I'm not a big fan of Obama anymore, but at the time I was. The difference is night and day. Obama, I feel like most conservatives felt like they was going to lose against Obama. Like John McCain was pretty old too. He was going against Sarah Palin. Everybody knew they was going to lose. Mitt Romney is basically a closet Democrat. He didn't need to win because it was basically going to be the same agenda, except you was going to say that he was a conservative. So it didn't make any sense to begin with for Mitt Romney to win. He wasn't genuine, and people saw it, which is inevitably the main reason why I think Romney lost. But Kamala Harris is nothing like Obama. She hasn't done anything. Obama actually at least tried to do stuff. A lot of people don't like him. And at this point, I don't either. But at least he tried to kind of be somewhat of a normal candidate. Kamala Harris is a far left radical.
Haley's, the very unsurprising, some fairly unsurprising responses
Look
there.
how triggered this dude is. He can't even get the damn words out.
If you have one concern about President Trump, tell me that concern, and then what's your one concern about Kamala Harris?
For me, my concern about Trump is him making too aggressive of choices and us not being able to recover from it. I appreciate that he is willing to, if a bomb is dropped on our doorstep, he is out the door as fast as it hit us. But that does make me nervous, because did we vet everything that's going to happen of it? My concern about Harris is a bomb is dropped on our doorstep, it's going to be 6 months before we move, and now we're viewed as weak. So again, which route do I really want to go?
That's an interesting point. Basically, she's saying that the Democrats are cold and calculated liars, and Donald Trump is just, he's about that action. I want somebody who's about that action, okay? Like somebody, if there's a bomb, this dude gonna come and stand in front of it. This dude took a bullet for America. You think Kamala Harris would have been taking bullets and still out there? Strongly, highly doubted, okay? Very, very highly doubted.
So it's personal questions on myself. So it makes me a little nervous on both sides.
What about you, Brad?
It would just be nice if they concentrate more on the issues instead of the mudslinging and personal attacks. I mean, we got problems in this country. The left wing and the right wing are on the same bird. I mean, let's try to find that common ground where we can't agree on things.
Everybody keeps saying this, but it's like, guys, like, what are you gonna do? The Democrats are the ones who are in power right now, and the economy is effed up. What are you gonna do? Sing them rainbows, hold their hands, and sing Kumbaya? The economy is effed up. It needs to be called out. The illegal immigration problem's their fault. Like literally everything that's going on right now is a result of radical left-wing policies. Of course, you're gonna sling some mud and say, "Hey, these policies suck," and throw some damn mud over there. They deserve to get freaking tomatoes thrown in their face.
Let's start with that.
What about you, Karen?
I don't think we can ignore Trump's convictions, his integrity, his moral character. I worry about him if he gets retaliation for, something he gets him upset, and he's going to retaliate without slowing down.
We haven't got any wars, guys. No wars. What makes you think the retaliation? He was in office for 4 years. 4 years. Everything was fine until the pandemic, the China virus. And everything was fine. Like, it's like, what's wrong with people's brains? Like, what happened that scared the hell out of you? Like, was it J6 or something? Where if effectively, once they released new footage, they proved it was basically a glorified pep rally? Did some people get violent? Yes. After they shot smoke bombs in their face and started shooting them with plastic bullets, then yeah, I think a lot of people would be pretty pissed off if they got shot with plastic bullets and hit with smoke bombs.
Thinking it through, I honestly need to get more information about Camilla, because I just don't know enough about her. So I'm gonna wait and see. I have to kind of step back and see. I've learned a lot just through our conversation today about her that I found really interesting.
Who do you blame for President Biden being in office in this condition? Who deserves the blame?
His close staff. They work with him every day.
So I think that's what also makes me nervous about the Vice President Harris. Yeah.
Talk about that a bit.
So yes, she's going to be in it, but she also helped keep him in where he's at right now. And if he really is as bad as what they've been saying, I think if he steps down as president and she steps into the presidency before the end of his term, it almost makes me question a little bit more why it didn't happen sooner. She's worked with him. She's been, to my understanding, with him daily.
Guys, I question this now. Like, it's not gonna make me question it more if Biden steps down and Kamala takes over. It's going to make me question it more if Joe Biden doesn't step down. This guy could barely speak, guys. Y'all see his little resignation speech today or yesterday, whenever this video get posted? You can barely hear what the hell he's saying. And these people are trying to get him to finish out his term to November. We're literally in July still. He's got to go additional more months. And this dude seems like he's getting worse by the day. And they want to keep him as president. No, I would probably feel better. I don't like Kamala at all. Let's make sure that that's clear. I am not a Kamala Harris fan, not even a little teeny tiny bit. However, somebody who is coherent is better than Biden. Somebody, it's just what it is. Like, at least, even if they make bad calculated moves, bad, stupid left-wing moves, at least they're making them. Joe Biden, we don't know what the hell he's doing, what he's thinking. He may not even be able to think properly. He can barely speak, guys. That's not somebody who I trust in this country as a leader for a freaking local mayor, much less president of the United States.
Or at least a couple of days a week. Why hasn't this been brought to her attention if she's willing to hide that type of information once she's in office? Now what she's willing to hide for herself. And so I think that makes me a little bit uneasy. Not necessarily that I wouldn't vote for her for it, but it definitely opens that.
Why would you vote for her if you feel uneasy? Who the hell votes for somebody you feel uneasy about? What the hell are you talking? You feel uneasy. You know she lied, but it's not. Well, we know it's a pretty big lie. I mean, it's a pretty big lie, but I mean, I might vote for it. Like, guys, that sounds totally ridiculous. I can't believe the level of mental gymnastics sometimes with people.
Questioning of why now? Why are you now being okay with exposing Biden's health concerns? Is it because it benefits you?
Well, the election's coming up. Hello, come on, guys.
Or kind of what that line of questioning looks like.
Yeah, is it a power grab or?
Does anyone agree with Alyssa's point that it calls into the vice president's judgment that she has been around while Biden's health has deteriorated?
100% agree. But it also seems like that's kind of how she carries herself. She kind of does what in the moment she needs to do to continue to move forward and move up.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, she does a lot of things she needs to continue to do and move up. Whether people like it or not, they're like, oh, he's so sexist. Like, guys, I really don't care. Okay, like, if you're on this channel long enough, I have a very crude sense of humor. Everybody's not gonna like it. I mean, look, I make fun of black people, make fun of white people, certainly make fun of LGBTQ people. Women are not gonna be an exception, and black women are not gonna be an exception either. Somebody who's old or young, none of that's gonna be an exception. I'm roasting every damn body on this channel if I feel like they are a fool, and Kamala Harris is a fool trying to play everybody else for a fool. The problem is she thinks that you're a bigger fool than she is, and I really don't think so. So in November, we'll see for sure, because I do think she's going to get the nomination at the DNC convention. Everybody has endorsed her except for Obama. Some people are claiming that Obama still plans to try to usurp her or something. I don't think so. I think that he plans on having some sort of like grandiose endorsement of her to save it for the convention, because you know he's going to be there. So what's going to happen is Obama's going to be at the convention and he's going to give his full-throated endorsement of Kamala Harris, and they're going to take pictures together. They're going to do photo shoots, and they're going to be in commercials everywhere. It's going to be like his second wife. Kamala Harris is going to become the mistress again, guys. So she was a mistress for Montel Williams and some other dude near the beginning of her political career, and she's gonna become the mistress again for Obama, because instead of Obama and Michelle, it's gonna be Obama and Kamala shoulder and shoulder. It's just heads right next to each other, looking like they're practically in love, and they're gonna be all over the TV together, because Obama has become the poster boy for the Democrats and the last infinity stone to help get them over the finish line. So you know that they're gonna pull that out, and they're gonna wait right before the election to really kind of steamroll in terms of that momentum, but it's not going to work because the economy is just not good enough People don't like open borders. People don't like wokeness in all their schools, their entertainment, their military. It's every damn where these days. So those are just my thoughts, though. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
I think she's an idiot.